Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dakota Barrows. Welcome to the personal presentation of Team Garnet. We created a level within the world of Scraps. But before we get into that, briefly, Team Garnet. My name is Dakota Barrows. The other members of Team Garnet, and I do apologize. I hope I am pronouncing your names correctly. If I am not, I do apologize. But again, my name is Dakota Barrows. The other members are Cody Bird, Carlos Rivera, and Raymond Mirez. We created a project within the Scraps project, within the world of Scraps. Within the world of Scraps, the majority of the world has been taken over by the zombie virus, the zombie outbreak. There are a couple of safe havens within the world, not many. There's a couple of thrown together quickly, like maybe some tents or something, of people trying to survive. The only true safe haven within the entirety of the world is known as the Bastions. Inside of the Bastions is where you will find the rich and the powerful still living. That is where they live, and you play as a scrapper. The scrapper, in this case, is somebody hoping that they can earn the right to live amongst the Bastions. The way they go about living among the Bastions is they interact with within the Bastions, and the Bastions, the people within the Bastions go, hey, I need X item, or I need this thing from the world, and the scrapper goes out into the world, fights the zombies, fights the undead, and tries to avoid the undead, and tries to find that item and get that item and bring it back to the Bastions in hopes the Bastions will say, hey, thank you for finding X number of items or X things. You can live here amongst the Bastions with us. So you play as a scrapper, and in our little level, the scrapper finds themselves at a hospital, and within the hospital they are attempting to find medical supplies to bring back to one of the lookouts. This medical supply is not going to be easy for the player or for the scrapper to obtain. It is hidden within the hospital, and the player must go through certain obstacles. Debris, zombies, key cards, keys, generator. Hospital does not have power. The power has been shut off. It has been off for a while due to the apocalypse. It is still running on low power, so there are lights, but they are dim lights, and the player must find a generator to power the hospital to start. So that is what we did. We created a level within the world of Scraps where the player is playing as the scrapper. And alright, let's jump right into it so I can go over all the things that were added both by that I helped add to this level. So to start with the LDD, we have the asset list, the action blocks, we have the generator, we have the key cards, the rewritable key cards, which are pretty cool. You have a normal key card, let's say it's a blue key card, and you need to open a blue door. And there you go, perfect. But let's say you have a blue key card and you need a green key card. Well, you have to find a converter that will turn that key card from blue to green. We have explosives such as dynamite that will help to be used to clear debris from certain areas such as the stairs to go to the second floor. So the player must turn on the power, they must find the explosives, they gotta find some key cards, they gotta solve a puzzle, they gotta try to get to the meds and get out of the hospital, while also avoiding zombies and other traps throughout the hospital. There's a parkour area where they must jump around this area. If they miss the jump, or they overjump something, or they underjump something, they will fall to their demise and have to redo the area. That is in an attempt to get dynamite to reach the second floor. Also, I created the entirety of the first floor, second floor, and the boiler basement area, the boiler room, the basement, whichever one you want to call it. It is one and the same in this regard. There is also a third floor, but that is just like you walk up to the third floor, it's blocked off and you can see it. And that's to help to imply to the player that the hospital is larger than it actually is, to help make the world feel bigger than it really is. Such as, we also added like a cityscape. I added a cityscape that helps create the illusion that the city is also larger than it really is. So these are the things that I added to the LDD. I added the asset list and the player goals, and I created the overworld map / floor plan for the level. The things that I brought to the project, I added a generator, and that generator powered the door for the generator. Each thing I added was built upon in the level, which we will talk about that when we get to bug fixes. In the beginning, I just want to show what I originally added before adding to it. So the generator powered the door. And the way that works is here's the generator, there's the door in the background, and the battery needed to this is the battery that you need for the generator. When you pick up the generator and when you pick up the battery and add it to the generator, you get enough power to open the door. If you try to attempt to press this button, this yellow button, without the battery, it'll flash red, indicating to the player that there's not enough power. If the battery is not placed into the generator correctly, it'll turn a solid red to indicate to the player that the battery is not in the generator properly. If the battery is in there properly, the button will turn green, indicating to the player that they can press the button and the generator will power the door. Alright, now I shall show that off. Also, I did add a sound effect to the generator, so when you turn it on, you actually can hear the engine of the generator turning on. So this was the generic general generator in the door for the generator before it was added, before I added to it. We will get to that later. I also added a generic door. This is different from the generator door. This is just the door that you might find in your house, at a hospital, at an office building, so on and so forth. Just a door with a door handle. You walk up, touch door handle, door open. And if the player were to re-interact with the door would then close after opening it. I also added a light. This light was also built upon, such as the door and such as the generator beforehand. Originally, the light was just a yellow light, and you could make it so if the player walks near the light turns off. I will show both of those versions of the light. One light will not turn off, the other light will shut off, or break. So here we have light that stays on, here we have light that breaks. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This was built upon after adding it to the level and realizing, like I said before, that these lights should turn white when it is fully powered. Some of the lights still will turn off for areas where we believed that was necessary. The lights that turn off is because they're old, they've been around for a while, and they break because they haven't been on in like 5 years. I created the map, the entirety of the map, which is fine. The team did go in and make edits to the map, but I created the entirety of the map: first floor, second floor, third floor, basement, and the exterior where you can see the city as well. So here it is from the outside looking down upon the map. It's a pretty large map. It looks larger than it is, but also when you play it, it feels bigger than it is. The third floor is really just a hallway, but it looks like there's more to it, which was the point. I wanted the player to feel like there was more going on than there really was. I also added assets to the level after everything was built. I added bricks, wood, the railing there, the metal floor, boxes, couch, lamppost, giant building to imply cityscape in the background. All these assets here were utilized to help flesh out the level for the player, to help them look at it and go, "That I know what that is. I believe that's believable." The bug fixes, some of them were just making it more enjoyable for the player or making the world feel more believable to the player, such as the light interacting with the generator to power like originally, you touch the generator, opens the door. Now, touch generator, turns on a bunch of lights. That did create a bug where it was so much light that there was frame rate drop. So I had to go in and I did tweak the intensity of those lights, so there isn't any frame rate drop now. The door, just a normal door, like I said before. This is different from the generator door. This is just the door. This one was tweaked so it interacts with some of them can interact with the key card reader now, so the door will be locked until you insert the key card. That created a small bug when we tried to update the door to some of them being sliding doors, so I went in and I reworked that, fixed that problem. That doesn't happen anymore. Zombies. When the zombies were first added, the group of zombies, the singular zombie by itself doesn't have this problem because there's only one, but the group of zombies would group up and just kind of huddle in the center of the room, and the player could just avoid them. That I went in and I fixed that, so the zombies will not just huddle up anymore and just not interact with the player. They will now, if they see the player or come near the player, or the player goes near them, the zombie will sense the player and attempt to attack the player. So the player can fight the zombies or attempt to be stealthy near the zombies to avoid the zombies. The generator itself, sort of like with the light, the generator was tweaked slightly because once the lights were interacting with the generator, the generator code needed to make sure it would tell the lights, hey, I'm on. So that created a small bug where when you would hover over the generator during coding, it would create error messages. I went in and tweaked that. The player would never see that. That was just something that was bothering me personally, so I fixed it so I didn't have to deal with those error messages. The map itself was tweaked. This is one of those ones where it wasn't causing a normal bug where there's a bunch of errors. It was causing the bug of it's not really fun for the player. Originally, there was no floor that you could blow up. It was just get the key, turn around, backtrack. But I know many players do not like to backtrack, so instead I hid the key somewhere else, and you need to blow up the floor to get to the key, creating you have to go through the floor to get to the key card. Originally, there wasn't really any reason to have the floor explode other than just to get rid of the backtracking. Now you need to do it to progress progress the level that we created. So there were just a couple of tweaks like that that would help with the making sure the player knows where to go and what they're doing. And so they don't have to backtrack, because I know a lot of players don't like backtracking. Alright, we're going to jump right into gameplay. Hope everyone enjoyed the gameplay video. I'm going to not talk. There will be no music. There won't be any sound effects. You'll just hear the video of gameplay. You'll just hear walking, shooting, whatever I did within the playing video. You'll see that now in a second. I hope everyone enjoys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.